Wake up. Get up. You have work to do. Remember your goals? What happened? You used to be so motivated. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm too tired right now. Not to get too vulnerable, but this was one of the worst periods of my life. Almost every single day I fell into the exact same cycle. Wake up, snooze the alarm probably 2 hours, waste time throughout the entire day, regret it at night, fall asleep, and repeat. And maybe you felt the same way sometimes. I get it. I think most ambitious people, probably like yourself, go through periods like this. So how do we get out of that mess? How do we escape that cycle? And maybe do it in only 31 days. Now imagine this, it's the last day of September, right before October begins, and I go out with a friend conveniently on that day. The topic of music comes up as he's a great drummer, I'm an okay producer, so it's just naturally gonna happen, and he ends up telling me about a challenge called beatober, essentially to produce a song every single day for the month of October. That seems like way too much to do. I couldn't even make a song in a singular week, let alone a day. Imagine 31 days non-stop, also posting content every single day. I have a job. I'd have other responsibilities to do. I mean, I couldn't do that. So I said yes. Without really knowing what I was getting into, I had to begin that day. So that day, I made a low effort video about starting the challenge, and the next day marked the beginning. October day 1. Let's go. The challenge began with an optimism. I was finally on my feet, getting some sort of work done, and I didn't feel so useless just playing video games and watching YouTube all day. The major thing is that I had to post a song every single day onto my Instagram and also YouTube Shorts, so everyone was able to see. If they missed a day, everyone knew, and I didn't want to hear those messages. So I made my first 5 songs without any major roadblocks. They weren't all perfect, and I still had to go through many late nights to get them done, but there still was a couple good ideas. Here's my favorite. Making a song every single day for the month of October. It is day 5, and I kind of snapped. Okay, you might be thinking, how on earth does making a song every single day for a month get me out of a rut? What does this have to do with that at all? After all, literally on day 6, the next day, I had a complete flop of a track. That was very discouraging. But I think that's missing the point, because I still tried. I still showed up that day, made the song, made a video, instead of doing nothing. Of course, not every song or every day is going to be perfect, but I still got myself out of the bed and showed up. That's what mattered. But I still had to set myself some goals for this challenge. The last thing I would want is for me to get out of it with nothing in return. So firstly, of course, is to get out of the rut I was in. Not just for a week, not just for a month, but permanently. My second goal was to build the habit of discipline, making a song every day and seeing visible progress in my music production. And thirdly, which was probably honestly the most on my mind, was to have that moment, making a song that I could be proud of and release. I had 31 shots at the dartboard, one of them was ought to be a bullseye. So that leads us to week 2. Making a song every single day for the month of October. Here's what I made. So after giving myself that little pep talk, I went on for the next few days making actually very cool ideas. None of these I would consider bad in any way, and I was actually having a lot of fun doing it. The biggest thing that surprised me is that this chorus was the most music I've ever made in such a short amount of time. I was already on day 12, 13 without missing a single day. Here are my 2 favorite tracks that I made in this period. But that week did not come without a flop. Honestly, at this point of the challenge, I couldn't believe it was already halfway over. Now for this next week, there's really not much to say because it was just rinse and repeat. Make another song idea, upload another video, you get the drill. But I was feeling good. I was feeling like I had a routine, like I woke up with a purpose, with a vision, with something to do, which, as depressing as it sounds, wasn't me literally just a month ago. It goes to show that just making one singular decision can change your trajectory. But there still was more work to be done. This was only halfway to the end. It's day 15, aka halfway through Beatober 2024. Today I made a vibey house track. Check it out. So like I said, week 3 I found myself in a good groove. What I didn't mention was day 17. This one I feel like went under the radar. And maybe that's just because I have a different taste. Maybe it just didn't hit for most people. But I made this one live on stream and I really felt like I got into the zone. I was just making the song extremely inspired. I loved the vibe it was going. And I thought it was just such a simple but effective idea. This might have been the first hit. Of course, I just had the rough idea when I started, but I knew this is one I would come back to later after the challenge is done and finished to release. Now only about 2 weeks in and I hit the bullseye. Maybe with a couple more shots I can hit another. At this point, it started to become surreal. It almost became mindless, like the same routine every day. I couldn't believe I've come this far making songs every single day. So it's week 4, day 22 hits. This was probably my favorite song out of the bunch. I titled this one Running. I felt extremely inspired and motivated when making this one. That was yet another bullseye. Fast forward, I made a couple of mediocre tracks and we hit day 29, only 2 days away from that day 31. The challenge is almost over. I'm almost done. I'm almost there to being completely out of the rut, making these songs, to be back on my feet. And day 29 also is another idea which I really, really liked. So, this is it. Day 31 came around. I made a pretty sick idea. I went to work that day and I came home. And the next day, what do I do? It's November. Beatober's done. I don't need to make another song. I don't need to make another video. It almost feels like I accomplished nothing. Of course, that's not the case. I just made 31 songs once every single day with videos for them. I had multiple 3 a.m. nights working super hard on making this goal become a reality. But I still felt like I was missing a crucial part of this. There's a reason it's taken so long for me to make this video about Beatober. It's February, that was October. And trust me when I say this is going to be the most important part of this video you're going to watch. What I've realized is that there's a difference between true internal discipline and doing something hard, which you'd call discipline, but from an external source. Let me explain. I started this challenge because I was challenged by a friend. I had the motivation to do it because I knew if I didn't do it, I would look like a fool. I would look like I wasn't a man of my word, that I couldn't do it. There was external pressure to keep up my reputation. It was all online, all on Instagram for everyone to see. When it was done, there was no more pressure. There was nothing else to hold me accountable. And that led me to spiraling back down to where I was. I knew I couldn't let myself fall all the way back down because I knew how dark of a place that was. But I realized that true change doesn't just come from a moment of motivation or, again, external pressure. It comes from a revelation from within. Tell me you know this is true. You can read the same quote, the same thing 100 times, and it's only the 101st that you actually truly internalize and understand what it means. They all say be yourself. You agree with that, you understand that it's true, but then you find when you look really deep within, you're still inauthentic because it hasn't clicked. That's just one example of probably many in your life, in my life, etc. So with that said, I couldn't let that be the end. I couldn't let myself lose this identity I created. And this is going to sound very far-fetched, but I think one of the problems is I went into Beatober as the same person I was before. The only difference was, again, that external pressure. Yes, it felt amazing. Yes, I was doing work even when I didn't feel like it. Yes, I learned a bunch and I truly sharpened my skills in this process. And it was an experience I would never trade. But when I was done, I had no internal motivators. So I had to ask myself, why am I doing this? Is this what I want to be doing? Do I need to make a song every single day? Who do I want to be? Not for them, but for myself. Why am I making the music I'm making? I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you how to go and achieve your goals. The truth is, life is very personal. Things are going to be different for every person. The way to reach your goal is going to be very different than someone else reaching theirs. I'm still on this path, so I'm not sure if I'm even the person to be speaking about this stuff because maybe the numbers don't show. But at least I hope you can leave this video with a couple questions in your mind and to truly reflect on it. With that said, I did end up finishing those 3 tracks. Go check them out. I think they're really cool. I have more tracks in the making, and hopefully I'll take my own advice and truly change. Let's get consistent this year. I'll see you guys.